All right, so we're back, and today is the day before fight day. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. It's finally here tomorrow, but today being Saturday means two things. One, I'm going to give you guys my face-to-face breakdown and final prediction. But hold on, there's a number two coming. Like you thought that was just a fart you let out, but it's a little more than that. An 18-hour stream starts live tonight at 8 p.m. PST. I want to see you all there. We're starting then. We're not stopping until the Jake and Tommy fight is over, but that's tomorrow. Today, we're breaking down the face-and-face. Jake and Tommy getting up close and personal. Not like that. That's not what I mean, all right? I just mean they're sitting down and getting intimate together. Fuck. Never mind. All I'm saying is this is the final time we're going to see Jake and Tommy's last words to each other before they step in and actually fight. And I know you guys are on the fence about who to pick, so before we get into the breakdown, I have some people to help you out thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Prize Picks. That is right, guys. Prize Picks is the easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the number. And here's how you get started. You pick between 2 and 6 player squares, and in those player squares, you can pick from a variety of different sports. I'm talking football, basketball, baseball, or the predominance of what we do on this channel, MMA and boxing. And even in those player squares, you can mix and match from different sports. Then you pick more or less on those player squares, choose your entry amount, set it, and then wait to win that sweet cash money. You can get started on Prize Picks right now when you sign up using code WADE or clicking that link in the description for 100% deposit matches up to $100. You could even get started by using the player squares on the fight tomorrow. Jake versus Tommy, it's all there. So make sure you're playing daily fantasy sports responsibly, and thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into the breakdown. Who's more ready for this fight? Whose moment really is it? And in my opinion, who wins? The breakdown, let's go.
Welcome, Jake. Welcome, Tommy.
Hey, man, listen, I don't know. I know I paused it 2 seconds into this thing, but I have to say, I don't know if Jake has a Celsius sponsorship, but hey, man, been rocking with you for years now. Let's get the sponsorship. But anyway, first impressions. Tommy's jacked as hell. We saw this yesterday. This is what they wore to the presser. If I'm doing the body language energy stuff, Jake giving a little submissive energy. Got the hands covering the crotch. Not testosterone driven, not an alpha. He's rocking the 2 watches, but I'm the one having a hard time figuring out what this outfit is, because the tan 2-piece has me asking, what can brown do for you? My man Jake looks like a UPS truck driver. I don't know what he's wearing.
It's UK versus US. I almost look at this as a war between the two countries in terms of boxing. He's an undefeated prospect.
This is not a war between the US and the UK. If we're going to put our best in boxing from the US against the best from the UK, I don't think it's going to be Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I understand that's the way Jake looks at it, like my family versus your family, my country versus your country. Like in Jake's mind, it's how are we different, and we're going to war based off those differences, where I could really honestly look at these two guys and point out their similarities more so than their differences, which is why they're sitting in those chairs across from each other. That's what I think.
And this is a business fight for me. You know, there's no emotion involved. I don't feel anything when I look at Jake. You know, it's what it is. You know, I'm here to put this man away. And
man, it sounded like his ex-girl. I don't feel nothing anymore when I look at Jake.
when you step over to professional boxing, that's when the line stops.
But you've never even been 8 rounds. You're not like a real professional
But
boxer.
you've never actually fought a boxer.
You had one 6-round fight.
I know, but you've
Anderson
never even
Silva's
fought.
so much
yeah,
better
but
than
he's
you,
an
though.
MMA fighter.
But he's one of the greatest strikers of all time.
That's MMA. You've never even fought a boxer.
What's the first martial art?
Yeah,
Boxing.
but you've
You start
never
standing
even
up.
fought.
No, so, okay, Jake is attacking this psychologically, right? He's attacking it from the wrong angle. Yes, he's right that Anderson Silva is better, again, than everyone that Tommy's fought outside of Jordan Grant. I think Anderson Silva beats every single opponent that Tommy has had. So when Tommy says things like, Anderson Silva's not a boxer, he's not a boxer, he's right. Anderson Silva's not a quote-unquote career-long boxer, but he has better boxing ability, which is what Jake should be saying, not, oh, he's a good striker, because that you can say that about a lot of people that aren't good specific boxers. Anderson Silva is the outlier to the rule that MMA fighters can't box, or kickboxers can't just box. Anderson did box and beat Leo Cesar Chavez Jr. Yes, he's not a career guy. Yes, he's old, all that. But the point is, and the main thing that Jake should be saying here is that Anderson outboxed a champion level boxer and is a better boxer than everyone on your record, maybe minus one guy. Jake shouldn't be running with the striker thing and what's the first martial art? The first martial art wasn't boxing, I can tell you that.
Let me tell you this, and I know by looking in your eye,
Tell me.
you know when you go to bed at night, yeah, and you close your eyes.
I don't sleep.
Oh, well, that tells
I
me
don't
everything.
ever sleep.
That tells me everything. This guy don't sleep.
I don't sleep.
This guy.
Tommy's like, fuck, this guy doesn't even sleep, bro. Let alone can he wake up and fight me. Mans can't even get to sleep. What Tommy should say here is, he's so petrified of me that he can't sleep. That's what he should say here.
But what about
Daniel
Daniel
Bochinski, or whatever he's called.
Who? Hold on. Who? Daniel Boskanuskanafalafalski.
He's a professional athlete, professional boxer. You ain't.
You really believe that?
Oh, yeah, I do believe it.
That's so cap. Tommy does not believe that guy, Daniel Bochinetskanafalski, is a professional athlete on a high level. That win is a good win on paper, but let's do a little bit of a deeper dive into Daniel Bochinetsky. All right, Daniel is 11-2. Solid record, right? Well, when we get into said record, we have a couple of good wins, and everybody else is kind of garbage. 4-6, 1-18, 2-8, 6-26, 4-6, 17-44, 14-20. Hey, we got a good win here from Tomaz, 18-8, and then we go right back. 11-37, gets TKO'd by 20-4, loses on points, and then beats another 2-3 guy. Not the greatest boxer in the world.
If me and you was on the car park, no cameras, he'd offer the handshake, and I'd get straight into it. That's the difference.
Pause. Okay, so Tommy goes with the Joe Weller car park reference there. I want you guys to answer the question in the comments. Who wins in a parking lot brawl between Jake and Tommy? I personally think I'd go with Jake because he does have a little bit more grappling experience. Most fights in the parking lot or the car park or any kind of street fight end up in some kind of grappling situation. Jake probably takes Tommy and tosses him on his head. And then from there, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I'd go Jake just because of the grappling experience.
Tommy, you're an underdog in this fight. The boxing odds makers have put Jake above you to win the fight.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Jake is 4 or 5 years into even throwing his first punch, let alone having a boxing match. So the boxing experience goes to Tommy, the fight experience goes to Tommy, and Jake still is the favorite. I don't know what that says, but it definitely speaks volumes.
The only reason why he's the favorite is because the two fights didn't happen. He's got 20-odd million Instagram followers, which doesn't mean anything in boxing.
Tommy's right. It means nothing in boxing, and it also doesn't mean anything to the actual odds from professional odds makers. Like Jake's social media following means nothing. Now, the two pullouts, I think Tommy's right that actually contributes more so than it actually should, in my opinion. Like, Tommy should be favored. He should win this fight.
If it doesn't mean anything in boxing, then why would the professional odds makers make me the favorite?
The professional odds makers had Klitschko knocking Tyson out and around. Look what happened there. Schooled him, took all his belts.
Fire comeback, though. Okay, Tommy. That's a fire comeback.
I'll tell you what, you're going to find out, and I'm going to showcase how serious you take it on Sunday night. So I apologize for the beating that you're about to receive, but I'm going to have to do it on you to show everybody who I am. So I do apologize, therefore.
Hey, Tommy's holding his composure super well, man. He is. He looks relaxed. He's calm. Throwing back stuff at Jake. He's answering with confidence. I like this. He's not only holding his own, he's taking some W's here in this face-to-face.
And you know what? I apologize, actually, for leaking your baby's announcement. I honestly didn't mean to say that the baby was...
So I wanted to address this,
I didn't mean to say that.
This is amazing.
See, here we go, man. Here we go. Jake's bringing the kids and the family into it, and he's apologizing, but I've seen this game before from Jake. This might be... I'm not going to say he's not genuinely apologizing, because I do think that was a sketchy move, and I'm pretty sure that now that he knows it wasn't, I guess, out, that he probably feels pretty bad, but there's always something that Jake's doing behind the thing he says to try to play mind games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just want to say that I didn't mean to leak your baby's announcement. I actually got a gift for Bambi.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Okay, this is not the same thing, but Jake did something very, very similar with Tyron Woodley, where he wanted to thank him. I think it was even because it was around the Christmas time period, but for Tyron stepping into the fight on short notice, right? It was December 18th. It was around the Christmas time period. He got him a gift, and he got him a fucking Rolex watch. It's a little bit of a psychological game that Jake plays to kind of butter you up. Hey, this guy's not as bad of a dude as I think he is. Don't put it past him to have something else going on in the works behind that.
Really nice, like, just baby. This is a big designer baby brand.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure she appreciated it. Thank you. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day...
Because you've gone up 1,000,000% nice.
Yes. No.
See, here's the thing, too. And John looks at that as a genuine gift, right? Like a genuine apology. And like I said, it probably is. But I do think that there's just a little bit more behind it.
This man's got
talk.
All talk.
I will.
You are going to sleep early. You are going to sleep. I will knock you out inside 4 rounds.
I will win.
So you can see, again, There's a belief from Jake's side very much in speaking into existence kind of what he wants to do, right? That power of manifestation and speaking things into reality is something Jake and them definitely live by.
You're a fake Fury, though. Do people know
You'll
that?
see.
What?
You're
You'll
a
see.
fake Fury,
You'll
though.
see. You'll see if I'm
leased
fake
the
on
name.
Sunday night. You will
But
see.
Jake just told Tommy he leased the Fury name.
But do
It's
people
over.
know that it's
I
a
can
fake
see in
Fury
your
name?
eyes.
But
I
do
can
people
see in
know?
your eyes.
I just want to know. Do people know that you've rented the name and you switched it
I
before you
rented
went on the
name.
reality show?
Listen, forget all this nonsense.
How come
It
you don't
is
want
what
to
it
talk
is.
about that,
Tommy-
though?
Yeah, see, that's 100%. Jake thinks he's hit a nerve here, and he might have. Tommy doing a good job deflecting. Jake just kind of going right back to the well. This again, I'm not trying to do like, oh, this is going to manifest in the fight somehow, but this is how Jake and Tommy should fight, right? Jake should go to the well when something he sees gets through, and Tommy should try to either deflect, defend, and pivot out, move around, right? They're having the fight before the fight. They're having the verbal war before the fight, and Jake thinks he's found something here. Tommy's like, nah, I'm gonna go to something else. I'm gonna pivot out. We're gonna reset this thing.
No matter what anybody says, since that opening bell, and he's not got Anderson Silva, who didn't throw a punch in the first opening round. He's got Tyrone Woodley walking to him like this, like a robot. When he's got someone in there, feinting him up and down, hitting him in for all angles, twisting left to right, inside work, the guy does no... you're not going to know what's hit you.
Hey, man, Tommy's kind of spitting here. Listen, it will be interesting to see what Jake does with a very aggressive opponent early. This is a big key in my mind. If Tommy comes out and steps on the gas early, and again, this could play both ways. If Tommy comes out super over aggressive and doesn't get that job done in the first 4 rounds like he's talking about, those last 4 rounds are going to get real interesting. But I could absolutely see Tommy coming out and winning the first and the second round based off, again, just kind of the stuff he said, stuff that Jake hasn't seen in a fight yet. Being able to be front foot on his jab. Again, we've talked about the length, not the one you're thinking. That's for Molly May. But we've seen Tommy in previous fights be aggressive early, right? On the jab, throwing combos, good footwork, moving forward. It's because really no one's been able to stop him from doing that. Jake's gonna have to, whether it's gonna be movement, whether it's going to be clinching Tommy, whether it's going to be answering his jab with one of his own. This will be interesting to see how Jake starts, because he has shown sometimes he is a bit of a slow starter. And you couple onto that a guy that's heavy volume in his face, that's not going to go well, and it could get, like I said, out of hand quickly.
This guy will be on the floor, and on Monday morning, he'll look in the mirror and think, why did I do
So, with all that said, are you, Tommy Fake Fury, ready to sign the contract?
Bring it on, baby, because there's no way.
Bring out the contract.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. We're going back to the bet. This man's got a literal contract ready to go. Oh, bro, no. Listen, when it comes to preparation for making things more interesting and getting people to watch, and just all the stuff that comes with Jake promoting his fights, the dude's a go, bro. The only thing I worry about is they're in fucking Saudi Arabia. I'm pretty sure you can't gamble and or bet. Hey, man, we might have to keep this a little bit on the low until we get out of the country.
Like I said, I could just reiterate
Yeah,
it.
just pass it over to me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Just pass it over to me. You don't
No,
need to
like I
reiterate
said, I
anything.
could reiterate
Yeah,
it
no,
for
no,
you.
it's fine. No,
if
it's
I
fine.
win,
Yeah,
if
no,
I win,
yeah.
if I win, I take all the money you're being paid.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you win, I double
Yeah.
it up.
No, hang on a minute. It's all right.
Why is the dad always coming in?
Here comes John again, bro. Daddy coming to the rescue once again. Tommy doesn't even need this. That's the thing. Tommy's doing so well in this face-to-face. John just doesn't get the fucking hint, and I love John. I do. I love his weird, creepy vibe. I love his sayings that no one knows. I love his fighting spirit mentality, but there's times when you just gotta sit out, John. Just sit. Do like the domesticated cat weasel thing that you call Jake and just have a seat. Like, just sit down on the floor.
Have our representative look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
No,
was
that's
going to do.
fine.
I was going to take it off him for
Yeah,
my lawyer
that's
to look
fine.
at.
We-
Yeah, so Tommy can do this. We don't need you here, John. Jake kills me. He said, why is the dad always
I
coming?
doubled it up.
No, hang on a minute. It's all right.
Why is the dad always coming in?
No, we need to have our representative look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sign this.
Okay.
I will
Here
sign
comes
this.
John again.
He will definitely, you've got my word as a Fury,
Okay.
head of the Fury clan. He will definitely sign that when my lawyers look.
There you go.
He will definitely, you got
There
my
you
word
go.
on that.
Okay.
Was the head of the Fury clan.
Head of the Fury
father
clan.
of the WBC lineal heavyweight champion of the world. It's best it's ever been. There's my hand, there's my heart. That will get signed.
Let's go.
That will
There
get
you go.
signed,
Do it.
brother.
So John did the same thing and word for word said the same thing to Nikisa when they were talking about signing this fight in Dubai. I was there. I took my headset off and heard it. So fair play. If John says it, he usually is, at least in the times that I've seen. I know there's been a lot of times where John's word hasn't been that way, but John said that he would make the Tommy and Jake fight, and they made it. And he's saying it again here, again, word for word, the same way he said it to Nikisa. I believe him. So this thing looks like it's actually going to get done.
If you lose to this man, will you finally accept that you're a celebrity boxer and not a real boxer?
Oh, man, Raheem, that's a banger of a question, but you are not getting invited back for this face-to-face.
Next question, brother.
No.
Can't
Answer
lose.
the question.
Can't lose, won't lose. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Tommy Fury.
Just do me a favor.
February 26th,
I want to
3
click
days
onto this
from now.
all week, and all through the build-up of this fight, he's been asked the same question, and he can't answer it. Answer the question. I've answered it. No, answer the question.
I've already won in life.
Answer the question.
I've already won
Tommy's playing the same game Jake was a second ago. Tommy knows this is going to get to Jake, so he's pressing him on it. Jake's trying to deflect to get away from it.
The fact that he can't answer that question tells me everything.
Nobody can beat me.
Tells me everything.
Nobody can beat me besides myself.
Delusion will get you killed.
I feel like you should tell it to yourself in the mirror.
Being delusional will get you killed.
Jake thinks that Tommy's delusional. Tommy thinks Jake's delusional. I said this in one of my other videos. Both guys are fucking deluded. Jake's saying no one can beat him. Tommy thinks he is the next coming of Tyson. Somewhere in the middle of that delusion is a confidence that both guys are building in themselves that makes this fight so fucking interesting.
I am out to do you some serious damage.
Have you done a leg day?
You know what they say about big calves? Very unathletic. Very unathletic.
I don't think I've ever heard the phrase "big calves, very unathletic." I don't know what that would even mean. Does that mean like because you're not an athlete, your calves grow bigger? Like as you become more unathletic, your calves just get crazy big? That's a hard thing to quantify. If you have big calves, you are therefore unathletic. I don't think that's how it works.
You've got shoulders like an 11-year-old. You've got a pair of shoulders. I can't even see you in that jacket.
Oh my God, Tommy Fury coming after him. Fair play. Hey, listen, I haven't seen this kind of wit from Tommy ever, man. Shoulders like an 11-year-old.
Is Jake Paul a boxer if he loses to a fighter like Tommy Fury? The way you've described him, he's got no real competition on his record. This is the boxing hurdle that you need to clear. If you don't clear it, isn't it true that you're just a celebrity boxer?
Yo, Raheem went back to the question. I respect the fuck out of Raheem for that. Fair play. Big time right there.
That would be correct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all I was looking for.
Hey, fair play to Jake for actually answering it. Fair play. You can't really describe him as anything else until he quote unquote beats a boxer, right? He's an influencer boxer that has now become a boxer. But as a pro, when he beats a pro boxer, then it's kind of solidified in the saying. It's very much word games, but word games, they mean a lot in the mind.
See, you know the funniest thing is about all this, right? So this guy loves playing mind games. I'm actually in his mind, and that's the funniest thing about it.
I don't think that Tommy's actually wrong there. I think that he has played mind games with Jake better than any of Jake's opponents. Like, even from the not showing up to stuff and that getting under Jake's skin and Jake not having full control of that situation, I think that's definitely played into Tommy's game. And the fact that he's done so well in this face-to-face, I do think that there's a part of Tommy that Jake looks at and goes, I can't break this guy mentally just yet. I can't just get in this guy's head and one way or another know if I'm breaking him mentally, which again, none of this stuff really matters, but they're small little indicators, and Tommy's done a great job with it.
Nate Diaz is an MMA guy. KSI, another YouTuber. He can fight these fights with a loss to me. And that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm sure all these kids who follow him on YouTube, they love KSI, they love him, they want to see him fight still. And of course, that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, Tommy's right. I mean, Jake can still take those fights even with a loss to Tommy. But Jake saying he's overlooking Tommy, again, I have to look at that as mental games because there's no fucking way that Jake, in his third time attempting this fight, is going, yeah, can't wait until the Nate Diaz thing happens. People like Nikisa are probably reaching out, but Jake is not focused on Nate Diaz. He's focused on this man, and again, his last name.
I remember after KSI, Logan Paul, that you wanted to be on the undercard. You wanted to be on the professional undercard. And they said, nah, this guy is not good enough. He's going to be a drag on the ticket. You know,
who said that?
Eddie Hearn wouldn't allow you onto the card. I remember you upset about that.
Oh no, Raheem, what are you doing, bro? Either Raheem has some information that I don't, or he is misremembering this, and that's, again, one thing you don't want to do. You're hosting it for MVP is tell Jake to his face that people thought he was not a draw. Oh.
No, they just wanted me to have my own event a month later, which is what happened.
See?
What do you reach for in that dark moment? If you are up against it with Tommy and you're hurt and you need to reach for something you haven't had to go for in these previous fights.
That's not true also. You're making a lot of stuff up.
I'm saying what?
Oh no, Raheem, that's strike 3, bro. What Jake's telling Raheem that he's making stuff up there is that I think Jake interpreted from what Raheem said about, you know, having to dig deep, and Raheem slipped it in. He goes that you maybe haven't had to before. Jake is hearing Raheem say you haven't had to dig deep, which Jake is going to say that's not true because I did have to dig deep against Tyron Woodley. I had to go to that place. I had to go to that place versus Anderson Silva, dig deep to win that fight. So if that's more of a miscommunication, but again, man, Jake is he's not having it.
It wouldn't even surprise me if he went back to his corner and he faked an injury. That's his get out clause. I'm saying that now before the fight.
I think your family's going to throw in the towel.
He said you can't punch.
We don't even own a towel.
He said you can't.
That's kind of a hard comeback.
That's the difference between me and you. When the going gets tough,
just wondering,
there is no towel.
You have an air dryer?
There is no towel.
Have an air dryer. Again, you see the different approaches mentally. Tommy's just not playing the game with Jake. Jake is playing the game, you know, hey, listen, you don't have a towel. Bed Bath & Beyond, they got them half off. Like, buy one, get one. But Tommy's just stone cold about it. He's like, he's not trying to get into the back and forth. He's just, again, just right back to the point. Different approaches, but both are staying on the game plan.
When you went to go shake my security guard's hand, you were shaking.
Wait, I've never shook your security guard's hand.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Right?
I'll tell you what I did. I came straight in this building, looked your best mate, your coach, J. Leon Love in the eye. Yeah.
Deer in the headlights.
What the fuck was that? Jake got shocked by the Holy Ghost watching.
In the eye. Yeah.
Deer in the headlights.
And what? And he said, don't look at me, I'm soft.
There's 2 deers in your family,
Oh,
Bambi
really?
and you. And you're a deer in the headlights.
Okay, again. Mars, 2 deer in the family. Bambi, which is the name of Tommy's fucking child. Again, a little too far, but also Tommy, right? The deer in the headlights.
Are a generous guy.
Should have. You're the generous guy. Thank you very much.
You're a generous guy.
Thank you.
No, you're a
I
generous
appreciate
guy.
it. No. You're
Tommy,
the generous
stop
guy.
it, bro. You're making me blush, bro.
Jake, you're too much. You're too much.
Oh, okay. So this is actually a fun little moment here. Jake's starting to implement his little game plan here, right? He's finally getting Tommy to break a little bit. Not break mentally, but to play the game with Jake, right? Because Tommy's been stone cold serious about whatever this is. Let's see if Tommy goes for it.
Tommy, you're a generous guy.
You're too much.
Ah, see that? There we go.
Brother.
All
You're too much.
You.
What is the prediction for Sunday night in diarrhea?
Stopping him inside of 4 rounds. We have the same prediction.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
So the fact that they both think they're going to stop each other inside of 4 rounds is pretty interesting. I mean, I think Jake says it, means it. I think Tommy really means it. I think Tommy genuinely thinks Jake's not getting out of round 1. But Jake says it knowing that he can go 8 rounds. And I don't think Tommy says that going, well, if I don't get him done in 4, then I'm not able to go the 8. But that is almost the end of this thing. We got one more thing to watch. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're seeing the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder stare-off. Theirs lasted about, what, 10 minutes, 13 minutes? Let's see how long these guys go for. I can't even focus on Jake and Tommy because Raheem is just sitting here, but his fists are clenched. This is a good zoom right here.
How much time you got?
All night.
I will sit here until my dick falls
I
out.
swear to God, I will sit here until Sunday night.
See, but I don't sleep. As forementioned,
That's you, Jake.
you're going to have
Jake,
to sleep.
you do know that's not good. That's not good. You do know that's not good.
All right, man, there we go. So there is the face-to-face. Now let's talk about my final prediction. I see this fight going 1 or 2 ways. One way is that Tommy jumps on Jake early, and he does so with patient pressure behind his jab, not overstepping, not stumbling in, but being able to take advantage of a guy in Jake that is still green as a boxer and definitely isn't used to guys pressuring him continuously and early behind a jab and following up with combinations. That is the danger zone for Jake. If that happens, this, like I've said many times, can get out of hand quickly, and Tommy can start this thing going like a snowball. And as he continues to pop that jab, and Jake's reaction to that jab and sometimes to forward pressure is to throw that high guard up and kind of just rely on that moving backwards. Yes, he does a good job at circling out, but it isn't in combination with defense. It's either the high guard or he circles out, right? And when he's on the ropes, even Anderson found some openings in that clinch where Jake was trying to tie and hold. Anderson would break and throw. Tommy will do the same. And again, early, he's going to do so with far more volume. If that happens and Tommy's successful with that jab, again, a couple things can happen. It will absolutely open up lanes for the combinations. And when those lanes open, Tommy throws enough to take advantage. It's bound to happen that he lands a right hand on the chin, or again, I would even say more so the uppercut, because Jake has been susceptible to that shot, especially again in the pocket. If that happens, you could see Tommy drop Jake early. Absolutely. I almost think that might happen. I think that Tommy probably will at least win round 1, probably round 2, maybe even round 3. If he gets round 3, it's going to be rough for Jake to come back. But Jake can stand in there for those first 3 rounds, because Tommy's going to come out like a fucking fireball. If we can withstand it and at least take one of those rounds, if he can take round 2 or 3, and we get into round 4 and 5 and it's a close fight, I honestly think that Jake might start to overwhelm Tommy a bit. You can say that these guys weren't the skill level Tommy was, and I'll agree with you. Tommy is a better boxer than everyone Jake has faced, but Jake is a better fighter, maybe not a boxer technically, than everyone Tommy's faced. He's been here before in this main event, and I just think if it gets into unfamiliar territory for both guys, Jake's gonna respond better. I see Jake winning this, and I think he beats him by a late round stop. I think Tommy comes out like a fireball, hurts Jake, maybe even puts him down. I don't know, but if he doesn't get it done in those first 4 rounds, I think Jake starts to methodically work his way back into the fight, and knowing that he may need that stoppage, puts the foot down. And I think Tommy, with the volume he throws, again, going to unfamiliar territory, at a certain point, if Jake is taking those shots well, he's going to start to gas. And I just think at a certain point, when Tommy walks into range behind that jab, and it's not as crisp as it was in round 1, that chin, regardless if he is fresh or fading, stays up in the air. Jake just needs one. Possibly he wins a decision, but I'm going to lean TKO for Jake. And I know my picks are the worst, and you guys are going to call me crazy for it, but there's just something about experience in deep water, and that's why I'm going with Jake wins this thing late. If, again, it's early, look for a Tommy Fury victory, and we all go home saying, yeah, Tommy was the better boxer. Tomorrow is the fight. Finally, after 2 years of build, the problem child and TNT will step in the ring. One man will leave with the legacy of the other man's family and a bigger paycheck than they signed up for. Who's it gonna be? I don't have those answers, but I guess we'll find out.